How you doing, guys? Good to see you again. Hi, fellas. No, just kind of make it up as you go along. Big fella, how you doing, man? Congratulations again, guys. Big fella. Yeah, down that side. Good to see you. All right, guys, get a view of the TV screen, because here you are.
The 1995 Dalhousie Tigers men's soccer team were the most dominant in their class. Men from Nova Scotia and overseas formed a gifted group that went on an unexpected run to a national championship.
The Tigers downed the Alberta Golden Bears 3-1 in the CIAU final to become the first Dalhousie men's team to win a national championship.
The result is for everyone that took part, not only in the final match, but in the whole season. I'm just over the moon, as they say.
I've only been in the country 2 months, so I didn't really have much concept of what CIs is all about and how important it is. But now just seeing everybody's reaction and all the lads' reaction, all the administrative people, the coaches, everybody, it's just like I'm beginning to realise how significant it is, you know, what we've actually achieved.
As a team, we got together in September, you know, and there was, what, 50 people maybe trying out? I got recruited out of high school. I didn't really know what to expect, and I showed up thinking it's high school and there's all these men, you know, trying out, and from England and from Ontario, and it was really, I wouldn't say intimidating, but you kind of knew you were in a good team.
In every position, and we had top quality people, so there was no holes.
The biggest attribute we had was, you know, the willingness to win, sacrifice, do whatever it takes, play for each other, you know, just accept whatever role you were given.
The Tigers had the AUAA Rookie of the Year, 5 AUAA All-Stars, 2 CIAU Tournament All-Stars, and the CIAU Tournament MVP. Their individual awards are attributed to an atmosphere of team unity and hard work, encapsulated by the infamous Point Pleasant Park Run that became a portrait of the Tigers' identity.
The way I recall it was, I think we had a Sunday game and we had a week off after that before we played the next game, or even more. And we didn't play particularly well. We either won a close one or tied. And
I think it might have been SMU.
Yeah, the coach thought we should have had a better result. I'm not sure how it went.
I remember getting the call, it was really early, probably 5 in the morning, and saying that if we wanted to play that weekend, that we needed to show up to this run.
And it wasn't the only one. It was the major one, I think.
Yeah.
You know, we had festivities planned for that night, a team meeting down at the Palace, and you know, we had the run scheduled just before we figured out we were going out. But we still had the team meeting down at the Palace.
We got to the back there, and it was just start running, and we just started doing wind sprints up the hill, and it just seemed to never end. And to the point where, you know, there were 6 or 7 of us down the ditch, just, you know, losing our breakfast that we had eaten that morning. That was the tough runs.
Just the memory of 6 or 7 guys, top athletes, standing on the side losing their breakfast. I mean, that's how hard we worked. And I coach kids now, and I tell them that story all. It's not the part about the Palace, but the part about what it took.
It was another one of those moments that sort of solidified the team, because there was nobody that wanted to be left off the roster at any point on that team.
The Tigers had a record of 8 wins, no losses, and 3 ties during the regular season. 2 more wins to claim the AU title, and 2 wins and a tie at the Nationals for an undefeated season.
I don't think undefeated was on our mind. I think finishing first was definitely on the mind, because the first place team at that time was the host team, and you know, at no time did we say we can't lose a game, because
no, that can always happen.
We could lose a game and still win. So you know, the focus was to make the final and win the final.
In the final, the Tigers faced the Alberta Golden Bears, who were heavily favored. What was not in their favor was the snowstorm that brought freezing cold and howling winds during the final.
It was a strange weather there. I mean, the field was a complete disaster, and you know, they had to shovel it off just to get the game going because it was snowing that much. It was always next man up on our team, and you know, in the final it was Graham Allardyce, fullback, who hadn't scored, I don't think, in his career at Dal. Scored a shot from just inside a half, really caught the goalie by surprise, had a big, you know, strong shot. We definitely had them searching for answers after that.
Whether you're on the bench, whether you're starting, whether you're playing, I've never been on a team that was so united. You know that in that moment, it's done. You know, nothing can take that away from you. So that was a pretty special moment for sure. Just running on the field and just kind of in a dizzy spell, just looking around and everybody's jumping and hugging and then quickly realizing how cold we are. Let's take pictures and get in there.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I mean, it is only starting to sink in now. I mean, the undefeated thing is particularly significant. I mean, we've played a hell of a lot of good teams in the Maritimes and the Atlantic conferences, and then we've carried that on to, you know, we expected a significant step up in competition, but we didn't see that. I think it's a testament to how strong the Atlantic Conference is and how good the teams are. And pride is what it's about, and we're really proud of ourselves and proud of each other.
It's not just for Dal or AUAA, or I think just for you know, men's soccer in Nova Scotia. I think the younger generations can look down and say, you know, it's been done before, so it's a possibility, right? Hopefully we'll see more of that in the future.
It's a great honor, obviously, you know, to be recognized as a team. But I emphasize it's a team. There's never been a team that was that connected, you know, from the youngest to the oldest, from the guys that played to the guys that didn't play. There was just something special in that group.
Folks, before we get to the plaque and the pin, I want to introduce these guys one by one. Hold your applause, and guys, just maybe raise your hand. Birthday boy, Graham Allardyce? Graham? The one goal of your career was the big one, right? That was the first one, yeah. Yeah, it was a big one. Mark Rainford, Mike Ayash, Trevor Chisholm, Stephen Cormier, Chad Denny, Chris Devlin, Paul English, Jeff Hibberts, Mike Hudson, Jeff Hiles. Jeff came from Vietnam to be here, is that right? Yeah, all right. Gregor McCaskill, David McFarlane, Eric Pinfold, Mark Rainford, Matthew Series, Chad Thorpe, head coach Ian Kent, assistant coach Keith Suchero, assistant coach Daryl Cormier, manager Paul Repp. There's a note, where's Paul? Did you sing Barrett's Privateers really badly one time to inspire these guys? More than one. Okay. Right. Unable to attend, Mark Ellis, Antti Jazik, and Jamie Soller, and we mentioned their deceased teammate, Sean Pedersen. So, here they are, folks, from 95, CIS, national champions. To present the plaque, we want to welcome the Senior Vice President of Dexter Construction, John Chisholm, who just happens to be the father of team member Trevor Chisholm, to present the plaque to Captain Mark Rainford tonight. And for the pin, I want to welcome Karen Moore, a Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame athlete who was Associate Athletic Director at Dal and attended the national championship when this team won its title. Folks, one of the tough things when you induct a team, you'd love to talk to everybody, but time constraints don't really allow that. So, Coach Ian, come on over for a second. Can you please tonight pinpoint for me one thing, just pick the one main thing that made this team really, really special?
One thing.
How about this one? The biggest thing that made this team special?
The word we. That's it.
Thank you. Do you want to expand on that a tiny bit?
Sure. I mean, to do something like this requires attention to detail. It requires that of each and every player, of each and every coach, of the management, of our support group in the administration at Dalhousie University. Things like this don't happen by coincidence. They don't happen by luck. They happen by perfect prior practice preventing predictable poor performance.
Precisely. Excellent. How about the hill runs?
Yeah, the hill runs. Necessary evil from my point of view. You know, the boys like to tip a pint, but they do say a team that drinks together wins together, and I'm a firm believer in that now. And believe it or not, I was a firm believer back then, but I had the responsibility to get that out of their system as quick as possible so that we could train hard and have a successful weekend the following weekend.
Yeah, coincidentally, Palace also starts with P. Yeah, okay, where's Chris? Chris, here we go. All the way from Edmonton tonight? Yep. All the way from Edmonton. Listen, your memory of that game in what looked like to us a blizzard.
Yeah, it was a blizzard. I remember the first corner kick that Alberta had. Normally, we'd line up on the 6-yard box, and Hudds was in nets, patrolling the 6-yard box. And the first ball came in, and it went right past me, and he pushed it over the bar. And I turned around and looked at him and go, I think I'm going to stand behind you for the rest of the corner kicks. And he just shook his head and goes, yeah, okay. It was a game where I think we just worked the hardest, and we found a way to not play where we couldn't play and play where we had to play. Yeah. And I just have the luxury of being in Alberta now and playing with and against a lot of the guys we beat. And for the first 3 years, they always complained, oh, it was a snowstorm. And so every time it snowed in Edmonton, I used to call them up and say, you ready to kick the ball around, guys? Let's see what you got. So that was really good. That was a nice part.
You're a tad relentless, aren't you?
Always.
Good for you.
We would have beat them on a good day, I'll tell you that.
There you go. Hey, Paul, come on over for a second. All the way from London tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, last name English. How perfect is this?
Yeah.
Listen, you were, help me out here, you were MVP of that tournament, then league or CIS MVP the next year, right? Yeah, good stuff. What to you made this group so special?
Somebody said connectedness, I think togetherness. We did drink together, we sang together, we did, it was actually, the team was built off the pitch in many respects, so I think the cohesion we built off the pitch made us win on the field.
Yeah. What's it like? I mean, a lot of guys have come from all over tonight, and you probably don't get together all the time. What's it like when you do?
Well, you can probably, we're all a little bit red-eyed today because we were out last night. Again, last night we drank together, we sang Barrett's Privateers. It's just wonderful, and it's wonderful to walk into a dressing room where you just pick up exactly where you left off 20 years ago.
Yeah. Do you want to do a chorus?
Can we do it?
A chorus? Yeah. Gather around the mic.
From the beginning.
No, just one little intro.
Oh, the year was 1778. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. A letter of marque came from the king to the scummiest vessel I'd ever seen. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers.
I can honestly say that you guys are a tremendous soccer team. Okay. Congratulations on your induction to the Sport Hall of Fame, folks. From 95, the national champions. Great job, fellas.